What's up, you guys? Bloody Jacob here to bring another set of movie reviews. Primarily going to be focusing on horror in this one. Of course, we have something like The Crow in there, which came out in 1994, starring, of course, Brandon Lee. And that borrows the, it's an action flick primarily, but it has a gothic horror appeal as well. Definitely some vibes about the tone and such. And we're gonna take it into Feast 2005, Silent Hill in 06, and then we'll cap it off with something like Critters, released in 1986.
Jacob here, meeting my icon, Catherine Isabel.
Bloody Jacob, for sexy, awesome, exclusive content.
Watch my friend on the YouTube channel. He is kicking ass.
Fuck with me and my friend! I'm after my family!
Subscribe.
That sounds like a warning.
It's an invitation.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's been a little bit, guys. Just some, I don't know, I've just been out of the mode for it, but I really do want to get back into it because I love talking movies, I love talking TV shows, even to myself. So I realized one way or the other I gotta get back to making videos, and I thought I'd do this with a good sized chunk Q&A here to get through some of the movies I had piling up on my computer to review. And first we're going to be talking about The Crow. Came out in 1994. Ironically, I had not seen this until just recently. Yeah, I call myself a big movie, horror, TV buff, yet I haven't seen The Crow yet. But, and then again, at the same time, it's embarrassing, but you never want to find the day when there's no movie you feel like you need to see, Of course, this was Brandon Lee's final film. Everyone knows about the accident on set and everything. And, he's just a really, really talented guy, a martial artist. He had a lot of charisma on screen. I even loved him in Showdown in Little Tokyo with Dolph Lundgren. But this is definitely his biggest role, his most iconic role, and it just sucks because it would have been interesting to see what would have followed, later on in his career. But The Crow was directed by Alex Perales. Also starred Ernie Hudson and Michael Wincott. Even Tony Todd has a role in this, so that really put a stamp on it. But I particularly enjoyed Ernie Hudson. Of course, a lot of people know him from Ghostbusters. He was even something like Leviathan, which I'll probably talk about in my next horror-themed video anyway. He was really likable here, as pretty much one of the only other good people in the city they depict. And this film does a really good job at just the vibe and just atmosphere it creates. It has a very, gothic style to it, as well as sort of feeling kind of like a dark comic booky type thing at the same time. So I think that is the main thing in this film that really sets it apart from others. And it was definitely one of the best, probably the best at that early on. I mean, you had like the Tim Burton Batman movies and the worst ones and stuff like that. But really, I think this film did set a precedent. Whether Brandon Lee tragically, passed away or not, I think this film was a pretty unique one for the time. Brandon Lee does good here. His portrayal of the Crow mixes, kind of that cool, dark-looking badass, but at the same time, he's a little bit, off his rocker. He nails some maniacal laughs and stuff like that. So I think it's a good mix of his personality there. Makes the character stand out. And his tragedy, it's a common one in comic books and different vigilante, superhero origin stories and stuff like that, but it still works nonetheless. Now they did it in how violently depicted, I think was handled well enough. I also like the actress that did play his significant other in the flashbacks and such. Yeah, it's a good fight towards the end. The villain, I think, was a little questionable, and he looked a bit out of the long hair he had, but it was fine. It definitely ends in some fairly brutal, satisfying fashion. Some good shootouts too. So yeah, really, the Crow is pretty much what you always hear it is, and the following it has is definitely deserved. I wouldn't say it's like an all-time favorite for me, but it's definitely one you got to see and own, I believe. That's why I got a Blu-ray. A really good deal, by the way. So yeah, The Crow I'd rate like an 86%. I could see people lynching me for that, but there's not a whole lot wrong with it. My ratings are basically a mix of critical view as well as just enjoyment level, and I enjoyed it a good amount. And moving on, we're going straight into Feast, which actually had producers like Wes Craven, Matt Damon, Ben Affleck of all people, one of my all-time favorite actors. If you guys did not know, still got to talk about the way back Blu-ray I just got for my birthday, by the way. Chris Moore. And I guess this movie happened from like a writing contest or something like that, and that's probably why such names got on board as producers and to really give it a push to be released and such. This is another pretty popular, cult sort of movie for what it is. It's basic, everyone gets holed up at this big bar, restaurant type thing. Kind of basically serving as a hotel as well. And you have this movie being basically a big play on stereotypes in the horror genre. You have a struggling waitress trying to take care of her son named Tuffy. And you have the woman who shows up, and she's just lost her fiance and everything. You have a guy literally named Hero who appears at one point. You have like the decent older bartender type character, and there's just a lot of stereotypes like that. And the film does really, its main style is, of course, subverting those expectations, but also playing into them to throw you off in both ways. I guess, reverse psychology a couple times over. So it's kind of fun to guess and to see which ones they play into and which ones they let play out the way you usually see. And the film is very violent as well, to an over-the-top level where you don't take it too seriously, which is a minus and a plus. But if you're in the mood for it, this film really does work, I think. It's a gore fest, so it's pleasing for fans that are looking for that. You don't see too much of the creature designs until towards the very end, but from a practical standpoint, I think they do look pretty good, albeit a little bit generic, but even more so after this film came out. So for the time, it was pretty good. I have not watched the sequels yet. I'm not sure when I'm going to, but this one I think is a good one you should see as a genre fan. And I'd probably rate it about like an 80-85%, anywhere between that. And then we're going to be talking about the 2006 Silent Hill film, which came out, obviously, as I said, in 2006. Was directed by Christoph Gans, starred Rahab Mitchell, Laurie Holden, and Sean Bean. I have not played the games. I haven't really been too familiar with the franchise, but I heard actually some increasingly decent things about this film, so I finally decided to check it out. We watched it, and it was, alright. I feel like it would have been a bit more effective for both me and my fiance had we seen it, years ago before we had become the film fans we are today. So it's really not too much you'd seen before. I mean, I do appreciate the atmosphere the town creates. I think it's shot fairly well. Rahab Mitchell is a good actress. I think she should have more prominent roles. I did especially like seeing Laurie Holden. Of course, big fan of hers. From The Walking Dead a few years after this. I think she's an incredible actress. Even her role on The Americans and such. She is the highlight of it for me from that standpoint. Sean Bean is good as usual, but he was basically wandering around trying to find his wife and basically, you know, getting a big exposition type dump whenever he was on screen, basically like a, I don't know, like a cushion, you know, to basically space out the movie to make it longer. I don't know. I feel like they had done more with Sean Bean in it. Besides kill him. You know, Kim Coates even has a little role in this. It's not too bad. I mean, there are some definitely violent moments that might stick with you for a bit, but I don't know. And then it gets kind of lazy with how they reveal certain mysteries about the town and such that they've been building up the whole movie. It's basically just like one and big exposition dump towards the end. And, you know, it's fine. You know, there are different visuals that are, you know, pleasing and cool to look at, but then they're gone after one scene. It's like, okay, I want to see more of that thing, or, you know, something like that. There's, you know, decent things about it you can see from the creativity of the games they're based on and such, but I don't know, it feels sort of unmemorable. Not really too noteworthy for me, anyway. But I just got it for a few bucks, so, you know, it is what it is with that. If I'd rate Silent Hill, I'd rate it, I don't know, pretty lukewarm, so, you know, I could give anywhere from like a 60-something to a low 70, but you mixing that, it's not that terrible of a film, so mixing, again, that critical view with enjoyment level, I'd probably give like a C, C+, I suppose. And then we're going to cap this video off with the original Critters film from 1986. Film that's often compared to Gremlins. This was released after Gremlins, but I'm not sure what's true or what's not, but apparently this may have actually been written before Gremlins, or at least before Gremlins came out. I don't know. You never know. You know, just because something turns into a bigger movie doesn't mean it's necessarily like the original. You know, there's a lot of stuff that goes on in the industry like that, so you don't know. It is a lot like Gremlins, sure, just with, you know, multiple, you know, crazy little creatures and stuff like that. But they separate it pretty quickly. I mean, the opening scene is very different from anything in Gremlins. It definitely has a lot more of a sci-fi edge to it, which, you know, feels kind of weird with the, you know, the main premise that the movie goes into. But it definitely distinguishes it a little bit. Creatures themselves are entertaining. Maybe not quite as much a distinct personality as the first Gremlins movie. But, you know, they're fun to watch. The cast is actually pretty decent in it too, I'll give them that. You have Emmett Walsh, who's been in a lot of, you know, action flicks as well as, you know, genre films. You have Dee Wallace, he's good. Billy Greenbush. Scott Grimes is quite good as the main son in this movie. You know, Nadine Velde, Billy Zane's even in it. It was, you know, pretty good. It's basically the family holed up at their farmhouse trying to survive the night, you know, with these creatures as these, you know, possible other aliens are trying to hunt these things down after they escaped and everything. And their laughter does stick in your head for a time. So it's enjoyable. I mean, we'll see how the sequels are. We'll watch them at some point. But as a film on its own, it's, I wouldn't say it's better than Gremlins, but I feel like it's another worthy entry within the same genre. It's fine, you know, being a part of that as well. So if I had to rate it, I'd give it like a, you know, probably like a 79, 81%, somewhere in there. Maybe 77 at lowest. So, yeah, let me guys thought about all these films. I know The Crow is quite different from all of these, but again, just the, you know, just the horror type vibe you can take from it. You know, I just thought I'd throw it in there, and The Crow is obviously the best movie in this video, but, you know, Feast has its place too. Silent Hill is meh, and Critters is fine. So, yeah, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.